Our tail of the tape for this flyweight matchup in the women's division. 37 years of age for Vanessa Porto. We were talking about all those fights she's had, but she hasn't accepted a lot of damage. Does the 27-year-old Ilara Joanne get it done against her?
For the final time during the preliminary portion of Bellator 263, it's time for the official introductions from Michael C. Williams.
Tonight here at the LA Forum, Bellator MMA is set now to conclude the 263 prelims with 3 5-minute rounds in the flyweight division. Introducing first the blue corner, at 5'3", weighing in 125.2 pounds. Her professional record, 9 wins, 5 defeats. Fighting out of Natal, Rio Grande do Norte, Brazil, presenting Ilara, Joanne. And across the cage, her adversary out of the red corner, at 5'2", weighing in 125.6 pounds. As a professional, 22 victories, 9 losses. From Jaú, Sao Paulo, Brazil, introducing Vanessa Porto. In charge, your referee, Jason Herzog.
Jason Herzog will referee our final fight during what has been an entertaining preliminary portion of Bellator 263. Vanessa Porto against Ilara Joanne.
Fight.
Bell round 1. Porto in the red gloves, Joanne in the blue. Porto fighting out of the orthodox stance. Both of them unorthodox, and both of them swinging wildly to get started.
Joanne really going after this, trying to get into Porto, make her open up. She landed a couple of good left hands, but Porto is now answering back with a counter right.
Kick, and then the right hand by Porto found its mark, but Joanne coming forward. A lot of frenetic energy here in the first minute. Both of them now 37 years of age, but a lot more experience for Porto, as Joanne in the Muay Thai plum delivering some knee strikes. Porto breaking apart, but she ate some shots.
She definitely ate some shots, and there were some nice knee strikes by Joanne.
Joanne with the overhand right over the top that lands. Inside leg kick by Porto. 3-punch combination by Joanne.
You can already see, take a look at the left side of Porto's face. She's starting to already wear a little bit of that damage. It's starting to mark up a little bit, a lot of red to it.
Beautiful 1-2 combination by Joanne.
This was what we thought was the difference factor in this fight. Could be the speed of Joanne compared to the experience of Porto.
6 of Joanne's 7 wins via knockout or submission have come in the opening round, and good start for Joanne against a decorated veteran in Vanessa Porto. 2 minutes gone in the first round. Meanwhile, Porto has 12 wins via first-round knockout or submission, including 9 submission victories. It's been an entirely stand-up affair here.
It has, and that was a beautiful kick to the body. Right kick to the body by Joanne.
And Joanne countering effectively, but there was a sharp jab that popped Joanne's head back by Porto. Counter right hand by Joanne. Terrific action here in the first half of the opening round. Should we be surprised, John?
They saw all the other fights and said, we got to go for it. This is great right now. Love all the action and love what I'm seeing from Joanne. Porto needs to figure out when she's coming in those counters that she's trying to land. Not walk straight back.
Flyweights always bring it in. Well, women mixed martial artists always attempt and usually successfully steal the show, and Ilara Joanne looking to steal the show with his dynamic striking.
Look at those numbers already. 22 of 56 for Joanne, 15 of 31 for Porto. Nice low leg kick by Joanne. That was a solid kick. It's always when you hear that little thud, you know that shin going across the meat of the leg.
Joanne, part of the Pitbull Brothers camp. And of course, Patricio Pitbull, the Patriot. Nice with his brother Patricky, and Joanne putting it on Vanessa Porto.
Porto's going to need to figure out how she's going to change this up, because right now she is not being offensive as far as she's waiting. She's trying to get the counters, but her counters are not finding the mark because she's not fast enough to get them there.
And Joanne used to be the person who worked the front desk at the Pitbull Brothers gym. And she has really blossomed as a fighter since she began training with the Pitbull Brothers. Has that same never say die mentality inside the cage, like so many from that camp.
Well, if there's a place that you can go, you're going to learn how to be a fighter. Pitbull Brothers is definitely a great place if you're in Brazil. Porto wearing a lot of the damage. Take a look at her underneath her right eye. Her nose is bleeding.
That left hook landed on the cheek of Vanessa Porto. As you mentioned, her face beginning to show the vestiges of battle here. 15 seconds left in a first round that has been a very good one for Ilara Joanne. Most of those punches were blocked, but Porto looking to send the judges a message in the final seconds of the round, but it's Joanne who ends up in top position. And I think round number 2 in the Bellator MMA flyweight division.
Boy, just missed with that high kick again.
Joanne began training capoeira at 10 years of age. Took up Muay Thai at 14 and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at 17. Porto, she began training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at 18 years old. She's a BJJ black belt, and again, we talked about the fact in her 16th year as a professional, and strikes landed in round 1. No surprise, the edge belonging to Joanne.
No doubt about it. You see Porto trying to kind of stalk her down, but she's unable to get Joanne basically on her back foot. Every time Porto starts to come forward, look to the fact that Joanne is circling out. That means that she's really in control of this. She understands what's going on, but that was a beautiful right hand by Porto.
Joanne utilizing footwork, trying to come up with an angle to score on Porto, and she goes right down the middle, splits the guard, lands the right, just missing with the right hand there. Calf kick by Porto. 90 seconds gone in the second.
I'm starting to see just a little bit of deeper breathing from Joanne. She's starting to open up her mouth a lot more, so she might be getting a little bit tighter, but Porto really needs to stop following her. She needs to set her up as far as the direction she wants her to go, and then attack her from that side.
High-level MMA. 2 women now 37 and giving it all they got here in the Bellator MMA cage. And Porto so far getting more of Joanne's shots than Joanne is getting of Porto's. And again, Joanne with that 1-2, keeping it textbook and keeping it efficient and successful.
Yeah, she's been very efficient in this. In fact, she should start going to the 3s and 4s, because you're noticing when Porto has those strikes coming at her, she's just bringing her hands up. There is no counterattack, so it's always the 3 and 4 that will start landing.
Calf kick on the outside there by, a short left uppercut that jacked the jaw of Joanne as Porto takes Joanne down, but a quick scramble here, and instead it's Joanne looking for the guillotine.
Well, she's looking for the guillotine, but she does not have that.
What a scramble.
It is. You see her head to the side. That's going to make her a little bit weak, and it's not going to have that pressure that's going to be able to put Porto out. She feels it, but she's safe in this position. Joanne needs to be smart about not burning her arms out, squeezing too hard, trying to control that head. And once the head pops out, start opening up that guard, start moving. There she goes.
Porto trying to maximize top position, trying to get back into the fight, but The craftiness of Joanne. Body position on display as well, controlling the posture of Porto. Porto keeping her head down now, trying to posture up.
Well, one of the, right now, Porto has the opportunity to start to posture and start to land big shots. But just controlling position and landing little shots is not going to get her back in this round.
No, short elbow strike across the jawline of Joanne, but Joanne controlling Porto in the closed guard. Porto with a couple of right hands to the body of Joanne, but she has to increase her offensive output.
That was a nice elbow strike by Porto, but it did give Joanne the ability. Now it's a little bit tighter.
Joanne going for that guillotine
How bad is it? How bad is her arm from that first one? That's a big question mark.
Porto has been submitted twice in her career.
She got her hand on that arm, trying to get a little bit of air.
Joanne looking
Still
for
there.
fourth submission win. Putting the squeeze on Porto.
Joanne's arms are
And blood on the body of Joanne. Some blood coming from Porto, who may have been cut.
Well, her nose was bleeding before in the first
That's what it
round.
was.
So.
Under 30 seconds left in the second round. Porto survives the submission attempt. Nice elbow strike. Another elbow strike by Porto, and she's coming on here in the final minute of the second.
She is, but let's go back to the fact that she was in a deep guillotine.
Yes.
That was tight. So if we're looking at all this ground action, what was the most significant thing that happened?
Submission attempt by Ilara Joanne as we go to the third and final round. Third and final round here in the Bellator MMA flyweight division. Vanessa Porto, who again took this fight on just 2.5 weeks' notice against Ilara Joanne, who has been highly effective with her striking combinations, including the one we just saw.
It is, and, during the break, you saw her corner rubbing on her arms, trying to get that blood and that lactic acid out of there. We'll see what effect that guillotine had on her arms and if she's back in this round. Right now, she's throwing great shots.
Joanne switching stances.
Marco direto, marco direto. Aí mesmo, Vanessa. Sai aí, ó. Hora que entrar, põe direto.
And right now what you're seeing with Porto, this is what happens when you take a lot of shots. She's stalking and she's looking, but she's not initiating because she's taking a lot of shots, and you keep on telling yourself, just give it a second, just give it a second. You can't do that. She's got to go after this. She is behind in this fight.
Joanne said one of the biggest challenges of her life was convincing her family that a career in MMA was what she wanted. They've got to be proud with what she's accomplished thus far. 9-5 as a professional, looking to move to 2-1 here in Bellator MMA.
9-5, taking on over a 30-fight veteran in Porto. It's giving up a lot of experience. In the back of your mind, when you step foot in that cage, you're thinking, man, this is a person that's been with all of these ladies that I have really admired over time. She's proving that she belongs.
Vamos jogar com a cabeça aí, Vanessa. Vamos jogar com inteligência. Vamos jogar esse golpe, bater e sair, bater e sair. Vamos lá, bater e sair, bater e sair. Bater e sair.
Looking for that spinning back fist. Porto now ball rushing her to the cage.
Porto going for the takedown here. Joanne needs to work. Don't let her get you down. Use that balance point. Start landing strikes.
Wow, what a takedown by Porto, but a great job of Joanne to bounce back to her feet.
This is where Joanne lost it against Watanabe. She got into these clinch situations and was out-muscled. We'll see if Vanessa Porto can do the same thing. She got her hands clasped. She can get the takedown.
Flyweight champion Juliana Velasquez, I'm sure watching with vested interest here. A pivotal flyweight matchup. Again, Vanessa Porto, a former champion in the all-female Invicta FC promotion. Helped launch that promotion, and a great job by Shannon Knapp and Julie Ketsi, everybody involved with Invicta FC. And Porto needs to get busy.
Yeah, she really needs to start posturing up and start landing again. Big elbows, big punches. You've got to show that you're trying to finish this fight. her head on the sternum area of Joanne. That's not a position for her to have an advantage. Now that she gets her head over the top, now she's in a position she can do damage, but you see Joanne going for the armbar.
They went to the same hairstylist, and it can be a little confusing in this position, but yeah, we've got Porto now stacking Joanne. A struggle ensuing here on the ground. A minute and a half left in the fight.
Notice where Porto's hands are at, on the ground. That's not the place you want to be. They should be somewhere either on the biceps, shoulder, chest area. All of this is great binding by Joanne. Jason Herzog saying not enough. Wow, get back on your feet. And that's because Vanessa Porto in the top position was basically stalling the fight.
And a wasted opportunity for the veteran. A minute left in the fight. Porto being battered and bloodied by Ilara Joanne. Under a minute left. Catapult right hand from distance by Joanne again, putting together a three-piece.
Very nice to see that three-piece instead of that one. A nice job of hiding the kick behind the hands.
Half a minute left.
Porto with a huge throw, a nice job.
Takedown right to back, and Porto looking for the dramatic finish. Vanessa Porto looking to come from behind, but the clock is her biggest enemy.
Right now it's on the chin, so there's just more pressure on the jaw than her being put out. Joanne is not in danger of being put out.
With the official decision, here is Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we'll go now to your three judges at cage side. Your first judge, Derek Cleary, scores the fight 29-28. He sees the fight for Porto. Your second judge at cage side, Jackie Denkin, scores the fight 29-28. She sees the fight for Ilara. Your third and final judge at cage side, Chris Crail, scores the fight 29-28, seeing it for the winner by split decision, Vanessa